Hey y'all, welcome to the Shiitake podcast. We're here at the amazing Leaven kitchen here in Decatur, Georgia, where we're going to be coming at you weekly with news of the food world. We're going to do some interviews with some of our amazing members, some product demos, and we're going to be trying out some new and unique foods as well. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Please make sure you're liking our videos, subscribing to our channel if you haven't already done so. And if you're new here, welcome. Please join us every week. We'll be releasing a new podcast every Monday at 9 a.m. So please make sure that you're subscribed to our channel so you get an alert anytime a new one pops up. Like, subscribe, follow if you're not doing so already, and let's get things started. Hey y'all, welcome back to another new segment of the Shiitake podcast. Today we're going to talk about processed foods, or what they've dubbed ultra processed foods, and really, I guess, just America's dependence on it, right? In general, you know, when you talk about ultra processed foods, many households really have those things as mainstays in the kitchen. So what ultra processed foods really contain, or really what they consist of, is think of things such as junk food, breakfast cereals, muffins, snack bars, sweetened yogurts, soft drinks, energy drinks, right? Things that are just processed, ready to go, and again, simple to eat, simple to consume when you're there. But really when they talk about ultra processes, there's a lot of things involved to help with that shelf life, right? So, you know, whether it's preservatives, things of that nature, I personally am one of those folks that thinks it is what it is, right? But it's one of those things that I have, as I've gotten older, started to think about, because it can affect your health, in adverse ways. According to a recent article from the Washington Post, these foods have actually represented an increasingly large share of just the world's diet in general. Almost 60% of calories that adults in America eat are from those ultra-processed foods. They also account for 25 to 50% of the calories consumed in other countries such as England, Canada, France, Brazil, and so on. Now, every year, food companies do introduce thousands of ultra-processed foods with endless variety of flavors, ingredients, and they deliver a potent combination of fat, sugar, sodium, and artificial flavors. They got to make them taste good somehow, right? And really, they add these things in there. For one, that they last long, they have a good shelf life, and two, that it's going to taste good, so you're going to go and buy it again. Now, what scientists are referring to, and the reason folks like the CDC and things like that are concerned, is that they're called hyper-palatable, which really means that irresistible, easy to overeat, capable of hijacking the brain's reward system, right? And it provokes powerful cravings. So not only does it taste good, it sort of causes a trigger in your brain, like, oh, I need some more of that. So now instead of eating a few chips, you've eaten the whole bag and you feel terrible about yourself, right? Now, there are some studies that have also shown that ultra-processed foods are linked to higher rates of obesity, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, colon cancer. And a recent study of more than 22,000 people actually found that people who ate a lot of those ultra-processed foods had a 19% higher likelihood of early death. So what can you do, right? Well, you can start learning by what foods in your diet count as ultra-processed. You don't necessarily have to give all that stuff up. Just take things in moderation. I was reading the news and watching the news the other day as well, and the Biden administration is doing things and presenting things to try and make it simple, more so for education, right? Right now you get a box of whatever, a box of food, whether it's cereal, snacks, whatever it is. You have your big label, and they have the health claims, right? 60% less such and such, or 60% more healthy, right? But what does that mean? 60% more healthy relative to what? And then also your nutrition facts are usually tucked on the back, on the side, kind of hard to find. And really with this legislation that they're trying to push, where that nutrition fact is right, those nutrition facts rather are right up front, right on the front of the package. That way you know what you're getting, what you're putting in your body. It's easier said than done, right? You see a package of something, you grab it, oh, that looks good, let me eat that. But I think if you're putting in people's faces, they tend to think about that more. That sort of makes me think about however many years ago it was, they implemented something like that in the fast food world. Right now, if you go into a Burger King or a McDonald's or whatever it is, you see in nice and big bold letters how many calories it has. Or if you're ordering online, it actually adds up. This is going to add such and such more calories. They're not doing that for your benefit. They're doing that because they have to. Right? So in the end, that sort of makes you think, right? Gives you some thought like, oh crap, this now has 3,000 calories or whatever it is, right? As a, when I add, this ingredient, or when I supersize it, whatever it is. So it makes you think, and I think that's a good thing. If they do sort of start ending up flipping those nutrition panels up front, it's going to sort of make folks pause and see what they're putting into their body. So again, ultra processed foods, one of those things that's sort of just an everyday thing for us, can lead to health issues. So maybe think about that next time. We should probably think about that next time we grab those things, and the easy to make things. And it's easier said than done, right? But yeah, if you're interested in articles like these and more, definitely check out the description at the bottom of the video for the main source that we got this information from, and come back and see us weekly for another edition of the Talk Shiitake podcast. We'll be bringing more news and headlines in the food world.
Hey guys, it's Ash, and I'm back, of course, with another amazing podcast episode with Talk Shiitake here at Leaven. I am here with the one and only, of course, Fernando. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So I wanted to come meet with you and talk a little bit about ServSafe. So we know that you offer classes here at Leaven, correct, for the ServSafe certifications. Talk to us a little bit about what ServSafe is. Yeah,
so ServSafe it's a business, right? But they're also an accredited business, and they offer classes for food safety and food certification. So in most businesses, right, most legitimate businesses, right, when people are trying to do it the right way, open their own brick and mortar, or even use a place like a shared kitchen to actually be fully licensed, say in the Department of Agriculture, what have you, they need to have what they call a food safety manager certificate. Okay. So ServSafe is one of many different companies that offers that certification. And they are certified through a company called ANSI, or the American National Standards Institute. Mm-hmm. So really what they do, it's a governing body that sets sort of the ground rules on how to certify someone for food safety, because that's really what it's all about. Mm-hmm. All these companies, including ServSafe, go through and they teach you sort of the ins and outs on how to properly serve food, but also how to make sure you're getting ingredients from the right places and things like that. So mm-hmm. ServSafe in a nutshell is just another avenue, or one of many avenues, to become food safe certified. Mm-hmm. And it's accredited by a governing body where it's accepted by pretty much every business around the country.
Gotcha. So who would need this type of a certification, and what if they don't even know that they need it?
Yeah, so typically who needs it are the leaders in an organization, right? So, you probably have walked into whatever restaurant, whether it's a Pizza Hut or a sit down or what have you, and you see sort of those ServSafe certificates on the wall. So according to that accreditation, right, and those things that you need, is the main person in charge of the facility needs to be ServSafe certified. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of times you'll notice that there are multiple people that are certified in one facility, and that just means that main person doesn't have to be on staff at all times. So really, who needs to be certified is who's running the facility and who's overseeing everyone. So that helps in a couple different ways, mm-hmm. right? So if there's a certified food protection manager in the building, that actually leads to people being safer, because they know, hey, boss is in here, I'm going to make sure I'm washing my hands and things like that. Exactly. Mm-hmm. But also the boss, or the person that's certified, needs to make sure they're leading by example, right? So that helps with a lot of those things and making sure there's no food outbreaks and things like that. When it comes to a place like Leaven, to even get licensed to be able to make food, each individual business needs to have a manager certification certificate. Okay. So that's why we have those classes available here, is just to make it a one-stop shop, right? We can provide your kitchen space, but at the same time, we can also make sure you have your certification, and that just makes your license process a lot easier.
Gotcha. So what are some of the things that would typically be covered in a course like that?
Yeah, so with the course, they really cover, for the basics, they also cover what they call the flow of food, which is pretty much the route your food takes from when you order it from a distributor or wherever you buy it from, to how you're serving it, how you're storing it, how you're storing it after, how you're handling leftovers, things like that. But of course, your standard food safety guidelines as well. How do I properly wash my hands? When do I wash my hands? When should I wear gloves? Do I need a beard cover, hair nets, all of that good stuff? And then it goes a little bit more extensive because it's a manager certificate when it comes to like the facility. So if you are in a food truck or have your own brick and mortar or what have you, it makes sure and sort of gives you the breakdown of what you should look for, right? Proper lighting. You should have what they call coving along the floors to prevent pests, and it goes over pest control. So really it's a real extensive course. It goes over a lot of information on not only being food safe, but making sure your facility is there, maintenance is being done, and everything in between.
That's awesome. So I actually had the privilege to take the class with you when I first started here at Leaven Kitchen, and I'm gonna say that it scarred me for life, probably. I think. So one of the things that I learned, and that I feel like a lot of people probably don't pay attention to or don't know, is about the way that you thaw your food. So it talked about like how many hours you're supposed to leave the food out to thaw, and like what you're supposed to do, like how many millions of like bacteria grow on the food once it's out for so many hours and things like that. But it also talks about with the temperatures of things, like what temperature the meat should be to serve and how you test those things, and even down to like, I feel like a lot of people just take meat out the freezer and throw it in water, and that was like a big no-no in there. It's like, don't do that. It like leads to like more bacteria faster. So there's like a lot of things that I didn't know, that not only of course just to be certified to work or to do what you need to do, I feel like we're just beneficial in everyday life of just eating healthier and living a little more clean. What are your thoughts on just utilizing the license not only for work, but for also for home purposes as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's really good to have it. And obviously, a regular person doesn't have to be licensed. You only get it if you have to, right? So for regular person that just wants to be safer at home, definitely recommend hitting up the USDA's website, the FDA's website, because they actually have really good information right on there, really good tips and tricks. I share that personally on our Train with Fern Facebook page. September actually is Food Safety Month, so they'll go through and they'll put some things out. I like to share information, right before Thanksgiving and before the holidays, because like you said, you should be thawing meat correctly, and yes, it's going to scar you. So I've walked into food establishments and I've walked right back out if there's flies, for instance. So one thing they talk about are the big 6 pathogens when they talk about getting E. coli and norovirus and diarrhea and poop are big things on there. They go into detail and they call what they call the fecal oral route, right? So yeah, tying into home, you can use a lot of these things at home. So growing up, mom had 5 kids. Taco night, right? She would get that big, that big old roll of ground beef, and she would just leave it on the counter pretty much all day thawing and just hanging out, right? Or put it in the sink and water or whatever it is. And that's not healthy. That's not good for you. It can cause some of those pathogens we talked about. So when they talk about some of those rules, really the thing to keep in mind is that 4-hour rule. So you should typically only have things sitting out for up to 4 hours,
and then it should go in the fridge.
And then it should either go back in the fridge, or you should throw it away, or you should eat it. And keep in mind too that 4 hours is back down to freezing, right? Or back down to 32 degrees or below 41 degrees rather. So even if it's been 3.5 hours, I can put this in the fridge. It's probably not going to get down to 41 degrees in that safe amount of time. So I definitely recommend hitting up, the USDA's website. We send regular reminders out on Leaven's website, but also on our website, Train with Fern, on how to properly handle food at home. So yes, this will definitely help. For one, you'll start side-eyeing those places that you walk in and you're like, yeah, this is gross. True. Especially if people prop doors open and things like that. Those are things you're going to start paying attention to, but also making sure you're being healthy and handling things properly at home.
So you mentioned it a couple of times. Talk to me about the website Training with Fern. We get a lot of requests through the Leaven Instagram page for inquiries regarding Serve Safe and how do they book and how do they get classes. So talk to me about the website.
Yeah, definitely. So we have just a simple website. It's www.trainwithfern.com. And really there, it's all about the easy use. You go on there. In fact, we have a class coming up, which by the time this airs, the beginning of October, right? So typically when you go on the website, you'll see sort of one of those call to actions. Click here for class going on in date X, right? And this takes you right into it. So the main thing on the website is that you go on there, you see the About section. It tells you a little bit about who we are, what we do, and what we offer. But then you click the course button, and then it just makes it real simple. If I need the manager course, if I need just the food handler course, do I just want to take just the test, right? So you can find all that info, and we like to make it flexible. So our thing here at Leaven is that we're a resource center, and we're a collaborative resource center, so we want to work with what makes sense for you. So we do have occasional things where we will schedule, and it'll be on the schedule. But if you need a weekend, if you need a certain time frame or a day or whatever it is, we want to accommodate you. So there are online options as well in terms of taking the test, but the most affordable is you sit in here with me, you go over all those details, and we make sure you get licensed, right? You get accredited and you're good to go there. You can also find us on Facebook. I'm not real too savvy on the social media. That's why I have people like Ash handle the Leaven stuff, right? But you can find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/trainwithfern. And we're probably going to be, putting some stuff out on Instagram as well. I'm wanting to put some safety stuff together on YouTube, so look out for some things coming up. But for right now, trainwithfern.com or facebook.com/trainwithfern is where you can find our socials.
Tell me a little bit about the difference between the two certifications that they can get.
Yeah, so you have your manager certification, which again, the main person in charge, whether it's the owner of the building, the manager, right? They get that manager certification, and it's an 8-hour day or sort of an 8-hour course if they do it online, and it goes over all of those fine details. If you do have employees, I do recommend the food handler. So the food handler course is just a $15 course. And it's all done online. It's a 2-hour thing. There's sort of a small exam or a quiz at the end, and that certificate is good for 3 years. So if you do have any employees, I highly recommend it for them to at least take that food handler, because it goes over those small ins and outs, right? Because a lot of people don't know, yes, they see a refrigerator and they see it's like 38 degrees, but it should be at 41 or lower. Or when you're what they call hot holding food, if you're holding food even at home or wherever it is, it should be above 135 degrees. So that's called, that 41 and 135 is called the temperature danger zone, for instance, right? So it goes over sort of some of those base details, making sure you're washing your hands correctly, making sure you're wearing, a lot of people don't know you should wear gloves when you're handling ready to eat food. So if I'm no longer going to be cooking that food, whether it's in the oven or anything else, then I should be serving it to you with gloves on. So that's another thing you'll start side-eyeing. If somebody doesn't have gloves, whether it's at an event or a pop-up and they're handling ready-to-eat food that you're going to then consume, they should be wearing gloves. So it sort of goes over those small things, because as much knowledge as you have, you can sit there and you can correct all day, right? But that just gives them sort of just a base knowledge, a base sort of starting point where they can do, and then they can prepare food safely.
Awesome. So once again, it's trainwithfern.com, correct?
Yep.
All right, and tell everybody how they can find you personally on Instagram.
Yeah, so you can find me usually on Instagram at dadnando66 is my personal Instagram. You can find me here at Leaven Kitchen. So I'm here 5 days a week doing my thing, and really the important thing for me is to make sure that our members that come in are able to produce and have a space where they can come in and not worry about those things. And food safety is at the top of that list. So we do regular walkthroughs. It's definitely something that's super important. But yeah, you can find me at Leaven Kitchen, Leaven_kitchen on Instagram, or you can find us at leavenkitchen.com as well.
And then you can also send an email if you just happen to have some questions, something maybe sparked the idea or question for you at info@leavenkitchen.com as well. Thank you guys. Of course, it's been another amazing podcast episode. Thank you to Fernando for stopping by and talking to us about how to serve food safely and the importance of having those certifications, you guys. If you need a class, make sure you reach out to us. Also, if you need a tour for a shared kitchen space, make sure you pop by. We're located in Decatur at 215 Laredo Drive. My name is Ash, and we're signing out.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Talk Shiitake here at Leaven. I'm back with Ash, in the kitchen with Ash. And what do you think about pumpkin spice? No?
But I'm gonna try it with
sure,
you.
not a fan of pumpkin spice latte?
No, so I'm gonna say
that.
the only thing that I like that I made was completely by humbug. Shout out to Esco. It reminds me of his story when he talked about like how he dumped all the stuff and then made this thing. So I was trying to make a pumpkin. I guess I was trying to make a pumpkin pie. I don't know what I was doing, but I put pudding in it. Somehow pudding ended up in the equation, right? Like I saw some pudding, I was like, oh, this might taste good. So I mixed it with the pumpkin. So it ended up essentially being like vanilla pumpkin, the pudding, vanilla pudding that I made, and I mixed it all together, and then I put it on top of a graham cracker crust and put whipped cream over it, and it was kind of like this pumpkin pudding, like banana pudding, but pumpkin pudding, and it was really good actually. But it wasn't like really strong on the pumpkin, you know what I mean? So
I'm a fan of Halloween is my jam. I love Halloween. I actually got married on Halloween.
Really?
We'll be married 13 years this year on Halloween.
Shout out to my anniversary to you guys.
Shout out to my wife Ashley.
Yeah, hey Ashley.
So yeah, pumpkin spice. So Halloween, I've always loved. I'm big on the spooky movies. I got my decorations up last week. I'm gonna go. Can't say I'm a fan of pumpkin spice. You know, it's everywhere, of course. I thought it'd be cool to try some different things. So today we're gonna be trying out some pumpkin spice apple cider. So this is sparkling fresh pumpkin spice apple cider. So who knows how the hell that's gonna taste, but we'll find out.
Yes, we will.
Fruit strips, I think these are like fruit roll-ups. Pumpkin spice made by Simply Nature. The good old Oreos, pumpkin spice Oreos. RX bar, these are protein bars. I've seen the brand, I've never had them. I'm not a big protein bar dude, but figured why not. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and dig in here. What do you want to start with?
Whatever it is, we'll share it.
Okay. Let's start with
no need to waste more than needed, okay?
Let's start with the fruit strips here. All right. So this is apple puree concentrate, pumpkin puree, vanilla extract, some spices. So this is one of the, kind of like a fruit roll-up, like a healthy fruit roll-up, I guess. So.
Oh, it's not even wrapped in, they didn't even wrap it in the plastic for us to.
It's.
Take it.
Just take the whole thing. She'll be all right. She'll survive, I promise.
Smells good though.
I like the smell. Like
I'm a smeller. I smell my food before I eat it.
A good pumpkin spice candle.
Really good.
I'm down with a pumpkin spice candle. Smells good. Do you like pumpkin stuff in general?
I don't.
No.
But this isn't bad.
What about pumpkin seeds? This is pretty good.
It is good, right? I'm not even a pumpkin fan, but it's pretty good.
You can definitely taste the pumpkin.
I was totally prepared to not like this Simply Nature, but it's actually pretty decent. I mean, I probably wouldn't like just go out and look for it
You
after
taste the
I
apple, so it's a good combination of that pumpkin and apple.
I think that's what it is. The apple offsets the pumpkin taste.
Spices, so there's probably a little bit cinnamon in here. Definitely
some nutmeg.
So not bad at all. It's really good. I think this is an Aldi find too.
Yeah, Simply Nature.
So Simply Nature. And shout out again to Aldi. Good. I like it.
It's not bad for me to like do it.
I'm not gonna like it at all.
Yeah.
She's gonna eat the whole damn thing, right? She's gonna save it, I bet. All right. What's next? Oreo? I like a good standard Oreo. My wife likes the
lemon.
The blonde one, like the regular vanilla.
Vanilla, I like those too.
I'm not a fan.
You don't like them?
It's okay.
I love them.
Oh, the smell.
Oh yeah, I smell it.
Hits you right away. I think that frosting. I don't know if I'm gonna like this one. But it's pumpkin spice flavored cream. So the cream itself is pumpkin spice.
I'm gonna try.
Probably gonna be good, right? Your typical Oreo ingredients. But again, the pumpkin spice cream. Now, what do you
Not
think?
bad. It's got like a little spicy kick to it, like nutmeg spice, like, you know, that holiday spice type.
Yeah, I can't put my
not bad.
I can't put my finger on it, but it tastes familiar. It
kinda
smells
does.
familiar too. Something I've tasted before. Not bad.
I mean, it's all right for the holiday time, I guess.
I'd eat another one. I mean, I have a whole bag. I'm probably gonna have to eat more than one anyway.
You're on
but
your own, buddy.
We'll see. I'll put them in a nice little gift box for Ash. Pumpkin spice. Protein bar. You big on protein bars?
Not at all.
You're not a bro. You're not a gym bro.
Not at all.
I'm definitely not a gym bro.
I'm the exact opposite of that too.
So RX bar, prescription bar, RX bar. I've seen them. You know, their whole big thing is that they put all their ingredients up front.
I was telling our camera people now I put them out there.
Telling the
Shout out
folks,
to the breathweights. I was telling them about it. I was like, it says it has 3 egg whites, 6 almonds, 4 cashews. Like, at least we know exactly what's going in our body.
yeah, definitely something the protein bros.
Cinnamon, natural
Probably
flavors,
appreciate.
pumpkin, and cloves.
It is gluten free. So RX bar, I think these are available pretty much everywhere online. Again, I've seen them before. Never had them. Not a big protein bar guy.
This
But
does not look.
I think it's one of those things where I think if you eat it, it satisfies your appetite for a
Well,
while.
you try it first and see if it satisfies you.
See?
Tell me
It
how
doesn't smell
satisfying
bad.
it is. It looks like bark to me.
It smells like
Or soap.
a candle.
It looks
Or
like soap to me. Like, I'm
or
supposed to, like, wash my
potpourri,
hands.
like a Halloween.
I don't know about this
Ooh,
one,
it's
Fern.
it's like a dry brownie. Well, we're gonna try it.
Sorry, guys.
Shout out to RX Bar. It's okay as far as texture go. We'll see. Let's take. Oh, maybe it tastes good. Let's try it. It's not bad. It's really hard and really chewy.
I ain't biting that big of a piece, guys.
It's stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, see, no, I'm not. I don't know if I want to do this.
I mean, it tastes pumpkiny. It's not bad. It's okay. I need my water. I'll
You're
be right
not
back.
okay.
Ooh,
I apologize. Do not let him tell you guys that it's okay.
it's not.
Okay?
It's got a weird aftertaste. It hit me.
I taste it as soon as I put it in my mouth.
Oh, well,
Definitely can do the Oreos. The Oreos is probably my favorite so far, food-wise.
again, shout out to RX Bar. I think they make other flavors. Just probably won't recommend the pumpkin spice. So you like the Oreo?
I like the Oreo. Oreo first.
The fruit strip was
Fruit
actually
roll-up
pretty
was
good.
actually pretty good. But that thing, we ain't doing that. Now wash it down with some pumpkin
Right.
cider.
Wash all the pumpkin down that you just
With
had with
pumpkin.
more pumpkin.
Like the way you think, Fern. Love it.
What's your favorite? Do you,
I haven't used
you
these in
guys big
years.
on trick or treating?
Yeah, we go to Ali's house.
Okay.
They love it over there. But yeah, like my kids like it, you know. They're still, you know, I have a 5-year-old, so they're still like
Yeah.
into that spirit of things like that. My oldest doesn't care. He just likes to like scare
Right.
the kids. And like, you can't do that. You just put on a mask and go out there and scare
Right.
everybody.
I like the holidays in general.
Yeah, I do too. My favorite holiday is actually Thanksgiving though.
Okay. Starts getting cooler. This is my jam. It's
Comfortable.
I love it. Yeah, it's just a good time for me. Again, I've never been big on the pumpkin spice,
Me
but
either.
oh, let's see how it goes.
This smells really pumpkin-y.
All right.
It's not bad.
Nope.
Kind of reminds me of a Angry Orchard.
I don't like it.
You know?
it's bad all the way for me.
I like this better than that last thing you provided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a good apple cider. I like when you hit
not
up
bad to me.
when you like hit up North Georgia and the apple orchards and stuff, and they have that apple cider. That's good. This
Not too bad.
I don't know.
On my taste buds.
I don't know if it was a combination of the carbonation. I can definitely taste the apple. It kind
I
of
can
reminds me of the fruit bar a little
I can
bit.
taste the apple too.
It's not.
But
it's
the pumpkin
okay.
is very rich. You can still taste it.
So yeah, pumpkin spice. Don't recommend. I mean, it is what it is. I know people like the pumpkin spice. You know, the usual, the pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think the big thing is just people.
The pumpkin pies.
The pumpkin pie. People just sort of when I say people, I think companies just sort of trying to capitalize on
Off of that.
the pumpkin spice latte, right? What else can we make pumpkin spice? I was talking to Barlow's, Tiffany, with Barlow's, right? Makes the pancake mix here. And so shout out to Tiffany. I know she was talking about some of her syrups and stuff like that. So her exact quote was like, let's get off the pumpkin spice. So, so definitely shout out to Tiffany. Check out Barlow's Foods.
Yeah, shout out to her. She had a great customer appreciation.
Fantastic pancake mix that I've used personally. I put some chocolate chips in there, and she's just released her syrups and things of that nature. So, like you said, she had her customer appreciation event just really recently.
Nice. Yeah, and her pancake mix actually can be used for a lot of things. I think Chef Knowles made peach cobbler out of it. So she had peach cobbler, waffles. You can make ice cream cones out of it.
Oh, nice.
You can make funnel cakes out of it. So it's like a multi-purpose batter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You'll meet Tiffany. We're working on getting her onto the podcast as well, so you guys can talk to her. You can also catch her on QVC these days too. She's moving on up. She's doing her thing.
Yeah, she is.
And it's really exciting to watch a lot of these companies grow, like the kombuchas and Kimiko's of the world, the Barlow's of the world. But yeah, thanks for hanging with me today and trying these unique foods. Guys, this has been In the Kitchen with Fern and Ash here at Leaven Kitchen. Check out the Talk Shiitake podcast weekly every Monday. And we hope to see you back. Please like, subscribe, come back and see us anytime, okay? This has been another episode of the Talk Shiitake podcast. I thank you guys for joining us. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out all the info in our info section or in the About Me section of this video, right? We'll have links there talking about all the products we just talked about today, linking you also to our amazing Leaven members. Thank you so much to our Leaven member of the day today for joining us, having a conversation with Ash. So that's really what it's all about. So make sure you're coming back every week to join us here at Leaven Kitchen for our Talk Shiitake podcast. We're going over news, we're going over some food reviews, we're looking at food, tasting food, which is probably my favorite part, and we're spotlighting our Leaven members. So come back and see us.